What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, where today we've got the big one. We finally got my review for Dragon's Dogma 2. Now, Dragon's Dogma 2 took me a little bit longer than I originally anticipated because this is a really big open world game that took me just under 30 hours to complete basically only the main quests. I did do a few side quests, but didn't quite have the time to fully engage in everything the world has to offer. That just proves how big this game is. And if you're looking for a game that is so expansive, I can tell you now without going through the rest of the review that this is that game for you. But if you are interested in hearing my experiences, I'm going to hop into that right now. Dragon's Dogma 2 has so much going for it, and there's so many different aspects of the game you have to think about when you're reviewing a title so big and so daunting as Dragon's Dogma 2. But the first thing that I think I really do need to talk about is the gameplay. The gameplay is a bit tough to get used to, and I was struggling for quite a while until I realized that I had chosen the wrong vocation for my type of play. I had started off with the warrior and I was no good at that. I needed something faster, more nimble, more agile. So when I changed to the thief vocation about 10 hours in, the game suddenly started to click for me. It changed everything about how I play the game and how I approach the game, and it suited my type of playstyle a lot better than the original pick. So what's great about this is if you do make a mistake at the beginning, you do have that option to change. And later on in the game you unlock a whole bunch of different vocations that you can't choose from in the start. But how does that affect gameplay? Well, that just kind of means that your gameplay is going to be dependent on the vocation you choose. You could choose the right vocation right from the beginning and absolutely love it, or if you choose a vocation that doesn't particularly suit your style, you could actually struggle a lot. But that's where exploration and choosing a different vocation comes in, and you need to then allow yourself to say, okay, this isn't working for me, let's try something else. And that's great because you can change whenever you need to. The other ones unlock further on in the game, so some of those are a bit more difficult to get to, but from those 4 starting classes I think you have a good variety of choice, and then the next 2 unlock quite soon after that if you want to choose from any of those 2. So the gameplay is tough if you choose the wrong class. Other than that, I think gameplay is perfect. The way the pawns work, their mechanics, how you command them, and how you can use them to do pretty much anything you would normally have to do in open world action RPG games is special. You can use them to heal you, you can use them to defend you, to help you out, or even get you from A to B. You can use them when you unlock an elevator system later on in the game in Bethal. You have them control the mechanisms instead of yourself having to sit and control the mechanisms, which is fantastic. So that is the gameplay out of the way. Gameplay is a very important factor when thinking about games, so having the gameplay almost suit your style is really incredible. I mean, most games force you to play their way or the highway. There's no other way. This one you can almost adjust your game, so the gameplay adjusting is something really special that I think a lot of people are going to appreciate in this title. So when it comes to the graphics of Dragon's Dogma 2, there is no doubt that this is one of the most stunning next-gen looking games I have ever seen. There is one glaring problem though, and it's a problem that's been splattered across social media, and it's almost one of the reasons I held off on making this review, because I had held hopes that they were going to sort of fix it, and they did in a way. And if you don't know what I'm talking about the 30 FPS or fluctuating FPS that fluctuates between 30 and 40, maybe sometimes hitting 50, but not very often. Now, in an effort to combat this, about a week after the game was released, Capcom released a locked 30 FPS mode. And this is actually how I recommend playing the game, because it actually does hit that 30 FPS and pretty much stays there. And instead of jumping between 48 and down to 27, and you can start noticing the frame drops when they happen, I think this locked 30 FPS is perfect for anyone that just wants to experience the game and look at its absolutely amazing visuals, because besides the FPS, which actually doesn't kill the game, especially if you lock it in at the 30 FPS, the game is gorgeous. Everything about the world the scenery, everything just looks so special. The enemies that you combat even look great. So the graphics in this game are drop dead gorgeous, and just that one little snippet with the 30 FPS actually doesn't kill how good this game is. You can still play this game very well at 30 FPS and not have it completely kill your gameplay or your experience when you're looking at such beautiful visuals. I mean, what is a game without a good story? So does Dragon's Dogma actually have a good story? Does it have a story that's engaging enough to keep you in what is a world that you can easily explore for 100+ hours? And I'm here to tell you that the main story definitely is good. I loved the main story. I think it was really good. It kept me engaged, and it kept me wanting to just go from main story mission to main story mission instead of going out and exploring this beautiful world. I kind of got stuck just doing the main story. Now that does mean I finished the game in about under 30 hours, but that's just because I was focused on the main story. And the main story has so many different tangents at the end. You have to actually pay attention to what you're doing. You can't choose the wrong ending if that's what, well, you can choose the wrong ending, but if that's what you want to do, you can do that. You don't have to always choose the ending that is provided for you. You have an option of 3 different endings, I think, and you even have a choice after you've chosen one to go through and do another one. It's very complicated, but when you get to the ending, you'll sort of understand what I'm speaking about. But I'm not going to spoil the main story. All I can say is that it's definitely engaging enough to keep you in this world for so long. And with the story, there's obviously lots to do with side quests and stuff that you can always hop into whilst doing your main stories, and this is amazing. There's so many side quests that you can do, but there are little tricks to them. You can't always do all the side quests. Some side quests have little timers that expire, or you have something that are called, like, not missions, like helper tasks that can expire if you don't do them straight away. So you do run the chance, or run the risk, like I did, of missing some missions because you carried on with the main story. So make sure you do everything you want to do before you end the game. And there's no good warning when the end of the game comes. Just know that it comes before the mission I'm putting on the screen now. I think it's Legacy. And then, yeah, once you've done everything before that, I think you can go into these last few missions and have a ball and finish the game quite simply. I struggled a lot because I was way under leveled, but that didn't take away from an awesome game, an awesome final boss battle, and yeah, the story is amazing. Apart from the 30 FPS, I only have one little gripe with the game, and that's the fact that there's not enough fast travel points. Fixed fast travel points, I should say. There are fast travel points that you can place. I think you have a limited number of them. I never reached that max limit, but the fact that you don't have just campfire to campfire fast travel or something similar to that really started bugging me. But I do understand where they're coming from. What I don't understand is that they could sometimes charge you real life money to then use these fast travel points. Now, you don't have to do this. They are enough to make going around the world easy enough, and they have an ox cart system, which is amazing. But that is my only little gripe with the game. I don't like how they handle fast travel, and that's probably just from me coming from very easy fast traveling games. So if you're not opposed to walking around everywhere using the ox cart systems and placing your own fast travel points strategically, you shouldn't have too much of a problem when it comes to doing this. I just found it a little bit tedious, and that is literally my biggest gripe with the game, and it's not even that major. So let's hop into my final thoughts and see what I actually think about the game. So what is my final verdict on Dragon's Dogma 2? Well, visually, this is a stunner. This is Capcom flexing all their muscles that they can. The only problem they have in the visual department is the 30 FPS, but I mean, that doesn't even kill the game. 30 FPS is what we were playing at last generation, and no one really complained about it. We still have really good gameplay at 30 FPS, especially considering the visuals that this game punches out. And the story, the characters are so unique, so different to anything that I've really experienced before this. So this is a perfect next generation action RPG that I do think is worth everyone's time. So what is my final rating for Dragon's Dogma 2? Well, it's a solid 8 out of 10 game. Now, for perspective, an 8 out of 10 game for me is really good, because I don't score very many games 9 out of 10 or even 10 out of 10. I don't think there's any games that come to mind that have recently released that are 10 out of 10s, I only have 2 10 out of 10 games on my list. I will make a list like that eventually some stage, but just for perspective, an 8 out of 10 is really fantastic. So, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more reviews, more building PlayStation setups, more of me, and more of everything to do with PlayStation. We've been doing quite a lot of the channel lately. We post videos every Friday. There will be reviews every now and then, and I just have to say a massive thank you to Gamefinity for providing me with a review code for Dragon's Dogma 2. Otherwise, I would never have had the opportunity to play such an amazing game. Now, if you do want this game and you are in South Africa, make sure you hit the link down below and check it out on koodoo.co.za. And if you don't want this game, they still have amazing games of all sorts of titles. I've been picking up quite a few games from koodoo.co.za for a few weeks now, building up into what is going to be an awesome period of gaming for myself. Other than that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend, and I hope that you're playing Dragon's Dogma 2 maybe, or something fantastic. Cheers.